It is a super sick episode of the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh. I'm here with my bestie, Donnie. We are going to give you whatever we have updates on and everything we know and the experiences in a short, probably 10 minutes. So stick around.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray keeps it downfield. It is caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome back to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh. This is my bestie, Donnie Druin. What's up?
We're at Radio Row. It feels like we've been talking about this for a minute now. Second year at Radio Row doing the Sick Podcast. It's nice. It's Vegas. It's a very vibrant city. You hear people talk about it busting out of the seams. It really feels like it's going to be a really, really cool Super Bowl. We're just now getting into the weekend. I'm scared to see what the tables look like, but I mean, we can save that for another time.
No, let's not save that for another time.
It's probably going to be $50 tables.
The people want to know, will Donnie Druin sit down at a $50 table?
Yeah, I'll play two hands.
Okay, there you go. You
Yeah.
heard it here first. I myself, talking about this off topic, last week played $50 hands.
Okay.
I took my slot money, which was $400. That was my slot machine money. Sat down with my boss, CEO of Trophy Smack, Matt Walsh, wild party animal in Vegas.
Okay.
Walked away with $1,200 under
I
their
picked up.
tutelage.
Yep.
It was not actually me winning.
A win's a win.
A win's a win. Team sport.
That's right.
Blackjack.
Yep. 100%.
Let's talk about another team sport.
Yep.
Football. And is there anything new with the Cardinals? You were just working on an article. Did it get published? Can we discuss?
Yeah, that was just about J.J. Watt making his voice known on the travesty that T.J. Watt did not win Defensive Player of the Year over Myles Garrett, but I'm not going to get into a tangent on that. There really hasn't been a lot of news. No, they've signed maybe 13, 14 players to features contracts. Jesse Luketa and Carter O'Donnell re-signed with the team, but it's been really quiet. And I think that's by design too, because it's a very big offseason. Roughly $40 million in cap space, 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And if they continue to hit on a lot of the picks and a lot of free agent signings like they did similar to last year, you're talking about maybe a potential playoff team. So
Yes.
Jonathan Gannon spoke at the Waste Management Open earlier this week. And yeah, he was like, I couldn't stay away for too long. It's a really big offseason for us. We really need to hammer out the details. So I really think they're locked in.
I actually feel this way as well. It felt so good coming off the end of the season. It was almost like we won the season. I don't know how to explain it. It felt like a win, and it feels really exciting going into the next season as if, you know what, we can do this.
Right. Yeah. It's so odd to think that in 2022 they finished 4-13 and they said, fire everybody, get them out of here. We don't want them. But this year they finished 4-13, and we feel like oddly optimistic about what 2024 can look like because Kyler Murray is healthy. He's going to be the guy coming back. You have a competent head coach, a competent general manager, so many resources whenever it comes to free agency and the NFL draft. And based off of the little sample size that we've seen last year, if they can kind of even halfway replicate that into this season, I mean, they're really talking there.
I agree with you 100%. And even today, I ran into Michael Wilson at a bowling event, and he was just really optimistic as well. Not that I wouldn't expect him to be optimistic, but he looked good. He's healthy. I predict a shining star in Michael Wilson.
If he can stay healthy,
If
absolutely.
he can stay healthy, I feel like that he's one of those guys that can catch anything almost, like leaping bounds, like Kenny not Kenny Pickett. What am I trying to say? Am I trying to say that?
Zach
No.
Pascal. He's the only other 6'2" receiver on the team. But really, though, like Michael Wilson, he's a 6'2". He's a big framed guy.
Come from?
It's Radio Row on a Friday before the Super Bowl. So.
George Pickens.
There we go.
That's what I was trying to say.
Pickett.
Not Kenny Pickett. Nope. Kenny Pickett throws to George Pickens.
Not for long.
Not for long, but Michael Wilson-esque in the way that it's like the leaps and bounds to catch it.
Yeah, I think he has a
flying through the air.
I think he has a very big catch radius. He's really good at contested catches. Really, the only thing is, can he stay healthy? And that was a very big thing for him coming out of Stanford. That's why his draft stock fell so low. And then he looked so promising whenever he did actually play last season. But obviously, rookie, getting adjusted to the NFL, that's a lot of hits. They hit a little bit harder in the NFL. So I think with a full off season to kind of recoup and recalibrate his body, I think he'll be good moving forward.
Yes, I met up with James Conner, happenstance. The spotters here at Sick Podcast Radio Row were like, James Conner. And then we ran and got a mic and there it happened.
Such a great guy.
He's so nice. I think for a half second he was going to say no, but then he saw like how I was like, and he came over.
Listening. Yeah.
And then we just talked about, did he give advice to DeMercado, like while he was out on injury, how DeMercado could fill in. And he was just so gracious and about, yes, you could imagine him just giving that advice and being like a mentor type. And I asked him if he's expected to see the breakout of McBride, and he's like, of course I did. And I'm here for it. Let's, the bonding of these team members, I think, is something we may not have seen in a while.
Yeah, you hear so many people talk about culture, and it feels like that's almost just like a word that's used so often. But when you talk about guys like Jonathan Gannon who've come here and they've really trimmed the fat off of the roster, they got rid of guys like Isaiah Simmons and a few others who didn't necessarily fit the future vision of the team and the plan. They really wanted to build this thing from the ground up. And although they did finish 4-13, they are picking a top 5 in the NFL draft. You're really seeing the very, very early fruitions of what a very good football team looks like. So I think, and I hate to keep saying this, but they can continue to keep building on it and get more talented players, they'll be set.
I agree, 100%. Let's talk draft.
Yes.
I've seen mocks, and it seems the closer we get to the draft, the more different the mocks end up. I don't know if you've seen that too.
Information changes. It's crazy. We get closer to the draft. Guys start to drop, guys start to fall. I also think it's kind of teams pushing their agendas a little bit. Maybe you're picking outside of the top 5 and you want a certain guy to fall. Maybe you leak something, maybe you don't. It's a dirty game, but as long as you get your guy at the end of the day.
Who do you think we are going to get in that first pick?
Marvin Harrison.
You think so?
I
think
so.
He'll follow us?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a run on quarterbacks 1, 2, 3. I would be shocked if any 3 of those teams decided to not take a quarterback. And if that does happen, if Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to number 3 at New England, there's still very good options everywhere. There's Joe Alt from Notre Dame. There's Olu Fashanu, I think that's his name, from Penn State, the other tackle. There's Malik Neighbors from LSU. I mean, it's a very, very good draft class to be picking this high in. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is obviously the coveted prize for a reason. He's the golden ticket, but if he's not there, the draft is not over. There are still plenty more talented players for them to go get.
I agree. One that I've been watching is Odunze.
Odunze, yeah.
I actually drafted him in a startup dynasty.
Okay. He's a very good receiver, too. I mean, it's a very, very good class for pass catchers, and luckily the Cardinals need a couple. So.
Yes. And after pass catchers, we're looking at what I'm hearing is edge. Do you think that would be?
I would think they go best player available at pick 27 with that Texans pick. Edge is certainly in play. I think if you don't take a tackle At number 4, I think tackle's going to play corner, obviously. Not a cool thing, but a really cool thing about the draft is there's so many holes for the Cardinals to plug. It'd be extremely tough for them to take a player and someone to go, okay, that does not make sense.
Right. Exactly. No, I think this is great. You know what? We've talked about a lot. We've covered a lot. Is there anything else we should know as we're here at Radio Row this week?
No, it's a very dead period right now. We'll probably start to hear a little bit more things over the combine comes through here in a couple weeks in Indianapolis. Very excited for that. But no, I mean, who do you got for the Super Bowl?
All right. You heard it here first. I got to wrangle my bestie, beat reporter Donnie Druin, into the seat, putting up with my shenanigans and rambling. Thank you for tuning in. You can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Kelly and Phoenix. You can find the pod at SickPodKelly. You can find Donnie at Donnie Druin. And give his pod a listen. It's pretty good. Tell him where to find it.
Yeah, youtube.com, allcardinals.com, and insidethesuns.com.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you later. Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.